Hey everyone, Wiimike here, and welcome back to another channel video update. Thankfully, though, guys, this will be my last channel video update for this month, guys. Do apologize that I have had so many channel video updates the last few weeks, guys. Unfortunately, with things changing and upcoming changes coming to YouTube and changes coming to content in 2020, I really didn't know what would happen, so I had to get some answers, guys. But thankfully, I'm happy to say that I do have some answers for you guys on what's going to be, hopefully, the future of my channel. I can't really give you a direct answer on what's going to become the future of my channel, but at least I can give you guys some idea what the future of my channel may look like moving forward, guys. But before we get started, guys, I just want to say I'm hoping not to make this a long video. I'm hoping to keep it under 20 minutes. I've seen other YouTubers do this, and I could do like a 20-minute video, but I don't want to really talk that long. I think we already covered some of this in my last update video, but I figured I should share some stuff, some information with you guys. I could do a half an hour, but I don't think it's necessary, so I'm going to try to keep this under 20 as much as possible. But anyway, guys, let's get started. First off, I just want to say it all started 4 years ago when I decided to create a YouTube channel, guys. I dreamed of making great content, being a future famous YouTuber, and getting recognized. I mean, that was literally everyone, I believe's dream when they first start YouTube, to get noticed, to make good content, and, to make the money, hopefully. But when I started my YouTube channel, my main goal at the time was to have fun and to create great content that would appeal to everyone. Basically, general audience content that would not apply just to kids, but to also adults and, teenagers. Basically, content that the whole family can enjoy. But moving forward, things have changed since then, guys, on YouTube. We had that ad thing back in 2017. So because of that, a lot of small channels were affected, including mine. And, I stopped making money, which, to be honest with you guys, I did have ads on my channel back then when I first started YouTube, but I wasn't really making a lot of money. I was making some, but I didn't make enough money to reach that $100 threshold that YouTube put on your account before you can withdraw any money. So basically, at that point, I was making my content anyway for fun. Now, if I would have done it differently back then, maybe I would have made more money. Maybe I would have got noticed more. I don't know. But I wasn't making that much money anyway. I really didn't do good. But anyway, long story short, I wasn't making any money anyway. So when that whole thing happened, I believe in 17, I was basically doing it for fun anyway. And I know a lot of YouTubers were gonna quit over this whole thing, but I decided to stay because I was doing it for fun anyway. I enjoyed making content for everyone, general audience, made family fun. That was my whole idea. But moving forward, now here we are in 2019, moving on to 2020. YouTube has now made another change that could affect a lot of YouTubers, including myself. Um, Apparently, YouTube was not in compliance, which everyone knows that we're in compliance with the law. It's this whole COPPA thing. So now, because of that, YouTube is making changes to their platform that not only are in compliance with the law, but also make it a little more difficult for content creators to be able to, how do I want to put it, to be able to create, because now YouTube, who, had that whole, they didn't, follow the law, now everyone has to follow the law because YouTube messed up. That's basically how I feel. I feel because YouTube didn't obey the law, and now it finally caught up to them. Now everyone, including the content creators, are going to have to be in compliance now with the law because YouTube was out of it for so long. Now everyone, including content creators, have to be in it. So now it really makes it a lot more difficult for creators to be able to create content that is considered, how do I want to say, not for kids, that kids wouldn't find appealing, so they can keep ads, because that's the whole thing now. If you create content for kids that are clearly for kids, you lose your ads, you lose, commenting, you lose a bunch of features. I'm not going to go on into it because I'm sure most of you know what features you lose. But then if you don't create content, I believe you get less exposure, but you do get to keep your ads. So I think it's more of a, win-loss thing. But, it just feels now that it's a lot harder for content creators to, express themselves and for people to be big on YouTube because of the whole content for kids thing and the whole COPPA and everything. But from what I understand, this was a problem for many years that people thought YouTube was getting harder. Um, since the whole ad thing, I think people said the for small channels to get noticed, to get big, became a little harder. And I think I found out a few years ago the same thing was happening when I first started YouTube around that time. People were saying it was becoming a little harder for content creators that are just starting to make it big compared to, I think, back when YouTube first started or in the early 2000s. I believe they said in the early 2000s is when YouTube was on the rise, so content creators were starting to get noticed. Everything was going up, basically exposure. But yeah, I mean, they're saying that it was starting to become harder for small channels such as myself to start growing. So, since I started my channel, things seemed okay, but now since then, guys, it seems things definitely did change on YouTube, but things have now became more difficult on YouTube, and because of that, now we have it a little harder for small channels to grow. So now, so many, now we have new challenges. I'm trying to think where I want to go with this. But that leads me into the next thing, the content for kids thing. I don't want to really, talk about it too much because I don't want to start an argument or anything online here. But my basic thinking here for the kids content is I thought that's what YouTube Kids were for. I thought that's what that app was for. You want you want your kid to see something, but you don't want to go, you don't want to expose them to anything dangerous. You go on your phone or your tablet and you just get YouTube Kids up and they just watch that. That gets them out of your hair. But apparently, from what I'm understanding, people have been saying for years that kids have been logging into their parents' accounts, or parents have been logging into their accounts on YouTube, and they've been letting kids watch content that may or may not anyway be suitable for their kids and letting them watch that, which now makes it more difficult for 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 content creators to know whether their content, you know, uh, appeals to kids or not because it's an adult account, but they don't know if it's really a kid or not. But because of that whole thing, I mean, COPPA's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. COPPA is a great thing to protect kids online, but it kind of makes it a little harder, especially for content creators, to know whether or not their content is appealing to kids or not. Which again, I lead myself back to that's why YouTube Kids app was invented. But that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, now because of it, guys, we have so many changes now. And one of the changes, which I'm sure a lot of people know now, is because of them getting YouTube getting caught with not complying with law. COPPA fined them, and because of it, YouTube announced that they have to make changes that content creators have to clearly mark whether their content is for kids or not, because of the whole punishment thing. Because now, uh, in order to be compliant, YouTube had to give those warnings, but now for COPPA and stuff to make sure they are compliant with everything, now they want to give out fines and stuff to content creators who make content that is or is not, appealing to kids, but, is misleading. And one of the things this hurts is if your content is found kid friendly, you lose, personal ads and stuff. I can't remember if I covered this, but, there's so many changes now to this. And one thing you have to worry about now is if you mark your, videos incorrectly and they find out about it and you're misleading kids or you're, misleading people by watching your videos, now you can get in trouble. And from what I understand, since that announcement was made, the FTC, who's going to be in charge of the fines, decided now that it could be fines, it could be warnings, it could be, it could be a lot of things, which makes it a lot better on content creators than it would have been if it would have been fines, because they said it was like 40 something thousand, I believe it was, because if you violate the law, which really hurts a lot of small YouTubers if they would be found guilty, like myself, because I don't make anything off YouTube because I'm doing this for fun basically, and to get penalized would not only be detrimental to me, but it would also mean the end of my channel because I basically would say, well, if I'm gonna get in trouble, I'm done with YouTube. Which led me to think, am I done with YouTube altogether? Am I done creating content? What am I really where am I really going with this? So I decided to try some things out, guys, and find out what the future of my channel is going to be like. And basically, the changes on YouTube with COPPA won't happen to 2020. So I basically have less than a whole month to release more content if I want. But I really don't know at this point if I will or not, because I really don't know how the future of my channel is going to go, because I don't know if I want to risk creating more content and finding out that the FTC is going to fine me or give me warnings. I might as well just say, you know what, I'm done with YouTube then. I don't really know where to go. So I was actually checking some stuff out. I emailed a couple of people. The one group I emailed, it wasn't, I didn't do what a lot of people thought people would do where you get legal advice and stuff. I didn't do that because I don't really know what lawyer would be specialized really in COPPA law. I really don't know. I mean, there probably is, but I really don't know if there would be or not. So I just ignored that whole thing. So I actually emailed, I believe, it gave an email address on the FTC website about COPPA. So I emailed to ask a question. I basically, in return, got automatic email back saying thank you for emailing us. We'll look into blah blah blah. Basically, not a helpful thing whatsoever. Basically, I told them, hey, I'm on YouTube. I just want to know what content is affected, what content isn't. Told them I do Let's Plays. Does that count? Basically, still no answer yet. I should have known, Oh, it's just funny, people want to make sure the law is not broken. They want to fine you if you break the law, but yet when you are trying to be a good person who wants to follow the law and you email someone, you would expect them to say, "Oh yeah, YouTube has to decide that," or "We can't tell you that. That's a YouTube thing." Or, basically, yeah, that can be considered kid friendly, but we really don't know yet. We're still debating. But instead, I just basically get an automatic thing and basically the brush off from the FTC for not being able to tell me whatsoever whether my content applies to kids or not, which I can understand. They don't want to answer on individual cases, but I figured by now they'd be able to tell me whether or not my Let's Play content would be considered kid friendly or not, because there's a lot of misinterpretation there, like Mario, Sonic, Luigi, just the name of a few characters. They're characters that can appeal to everyone. I mean, really, when you stop and think about it, how can you really sit there and say it's kid friendly when there are people that, back in the 90s and 80s, played Mario games and stuff. I mean, how can you really say, oh, that's kid friendly content, so it's basically made for kids when, there are adults today that still play Mario, that used to play Mario. I mean, really, it's a lot, it's a lot when you really think about it. Is it really kid friendly or not? So anyway, I moved on from that because I really don't know. I hear YouTube and the FTC is working together to answer YouTuber questions. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully before 2020 we'll know what's going on there, because I really, in all honesty, don't know where I'm gonna go from here, because I don't know really if my content is going to be affected or not. I really don't. Um, so I emailed this other group because I found out there's another platform that people do video content on, and I thought, well, if YouTube basically decides to, become harder to do, I'll just switch over to this where I can hopefully get money from, and hopefully, do my content for fun and be able to grow an audience over there, because I feel like the chances of growing on YouTube now are really hard, really slim to none, because I don't know how anyone can grow a channel anymore when now there's stricter rules and everything on the FTC on YouTube. But now I do that, I contact them, and long and behold, I didn't get an answer either from them. So basically, I'm still back to square one. I know there's options out there, but I don't really know what options I can do. My whole thing here is I can move to another platform. It would make sense to move to another platform. But I've already seen other people comment, and I've seen other people come up with solutions. But from what I see online, the same answer still pops up. You move to another platform and create these videos, you could still get in the same issue, because the FTC, this whole COPPA thing, is everywhere. It just don't apply to YouTube. It will apply to a lot of other websites as well. So, basically you do that, you're still, in a way, still back to square one. Because if I move my content and create new content on another website, I could still have the same issue. The other problem I have is I know a lot of people like to create let's plays and like to do this and that, but there are also a lot of companies that make games that don't want their content out online without permission and stuff. So if I would do that, I would have to basically ask um, everyone that basically let me do their content and say, hey, I'm thinking about moving to another platform. Do I have your permission to repost my videos on there, or is that it? And if I basically get one strike or two strikes from groups that say, no, we don't want you to repost our content, or we don't want you to make content on X site, it's basically, do I just now quit, or do I stay on YouTube? Because either way you think about it, if you move and you carry some of that old video stuff with you, if they don't want you to do it, you're basically like, if you do it, you could get sued. So, in a way, again, my whole thinking is I don't want to do that either, because if they don't want their content on their website and I do it, then I have to risk being sued by them. So basically, I feel like I'm at one of those points where I have options, but one thing could lead to a no, and if it does lead to a no or blockage, then I have to move back and look at my remaining options and figure out where I want to go from there. Well, one option I'm really thinking about, guys, is just staying on YouTube and see what happens with the whole COPPA thing, which I think is going to pretty much happen. But I really don't know. I'm still waiting to see what COPPA and YouTube come out with. Hopefully, before 2020, all of us content creators will know what is going to happen. But what I want to really share is my content. My content, like a lot of other people's content, it's not just for kids. It's not just for adults. It's for general audiences. And that's why a lot of people are complaining. They don't make content just for kids. They make content for everyone. Family friendly content where they don't swear. They use words that aren't kid-like, but they use words that appeal to everyone. They use, they, they talk, they do commentary, they do a lot of stuff to appeal to everyone, not just, kids. And when you stop and think about it, you just don't do that stuff for kids. You do it for everyone. And that's the only way you're going to get your content discovered is if you appeal to everyone, not just one, age group. So, again, my content, I never made it just for kids. I mean, yeah, I done video games with like Minions and Super Monkey Ball and yeah, Mario. But I mean, basically, when you stop and think about it, there are people that do like the Minions. There are people that do like, Mario. So, when you stop and think about it, it's not really just for kids, it's really for everyone. Super Monkey Ball, I don't really know if that's more for kids, adults, or, I don't really know. But, when you stop and think about it, the content you create should be for everyone, not just kids. So, again, I just want everyone to know out there, I don't create content just for kids or just for adults or just for teenagers. I create content for everyone. And when I look at my demographics, it's mostly the adults. I don't know how many kids really listen to my content or not. I really don't know. But I don't really know that because law requires YouTube not to disclose whether or not a kid under 13 is watching my content or not, which I totally understand and I agree with. But the trouble is, they can't track it. They can't disclose whether or not there is minors watching your content. But yet, then they want to fuss that you gotta know your audience. You gotta know what age groups are watching your content. So if there is a 13 or 7-year old or whoever out there watching your videos that are under 13, they can't track it. They can't let you know if they are or not. So how do you know if your demographics really are appealing more to kids than adults if they can't track, that kind of stuff, which I understand. But again, it does leave a loophole in the law, to me at least, where it's like you gotta know your audience. You gotta know whether your content appeals to kids or not. But to me, it's a little hard to know that when you don't know really how many kids are really watching your videos when they can't track it by law or they can't disclose it by law, wherever the situation is. So basically, I just want to put out there, guys, that I create family content. Whether it seems like family friendly content or not, I don't know, but I try to make it entertaining. I try to make it appealing to all ages. And it's just getting a little harder, especially with that new COPPA law, because I'm okay with warnings, but I don't want to get fines. I mean, I can't afford a 40 something thousand wasn't fine me. I don't know how many small YouTubers could. I really don't. But I mean, it just, to me, I mean, I don't know how they expect anyone to afford that if you're a small YouTuber. But I'm excited to hear that they might actually be changing what they do, like warnings, then fines, or whatever, then warnings, then fines. I mean, I don't really know, but I mean that's a whole lot better than just getting fines off the bat. It really is. So I'm excited about that. Um, I'm sorry, I really don't know how I wanted to lay out this video. I basically had several ideas of how I wanted to do this, and basically how many different versions I want of it that I wanted to say stuff or say a different way. I really don't know how I wanted to say this, but I'm sticking with this version and saying everything that I just said in this video because I want everyone to know that I make content for everyone, not just kids. The idea when I started YouTube was to create general audience programming content that would appeal to everyone, not just kids. And I want everyone to know that whether I go or whether I stop making content, I want everyone to know I don't make content just for kids. I make content for everyone, and I don't know what the future is going to hold here for my channel or for YouTube or any of that, but I just want you guys to know that there are options out there. I still got to get better answers for my options, but I want people to at least know what options we have out there. So I do apologize. This was longer than I expected, and it's not worded exactly the professional like ism that I wanted to say, but I got tired and I finally decided, you know what, guys, this is how we're gonna say it. I'm gonna say it the best I can, and hopefully say everything I want to say. But I mean, yeah, that's basically what I want to say. This is how I feel, and I want everyone to know that whether I go or not is irrelevant. What does matter is whether or not my content, what my content stands for, and I want people to know my content stands for everyone, not just kids. So I mean, I don't want to get in trouble, and that's one reason why I have to decide what my channel's future is going to be like. But I just want people to know that I stand for family content, not just kid content, but family-oriented content that applies to, excuse me, that appeals to everyone and not just kids. I want people to know that if I go, it's because of COPPA and the law, and not because of you, because you guys are all amazing. At the time of this video, I have excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. I have 119 subscribers, guys, and I greatly appreciate it. So where my channel dies now, or dies, in 2020 when the whole things change, I just want you to know I appreciate all my subscribers right now. Whether you watched my content or not, or whether you haven't watched it for a while, I do appreciate you. I really do. It's just I want to finally say what I want to say. And I just want everyone to know my content is for everyone, not just for kids. Whether Kappa disagrees with me or not, I don't care. I just want everyone to know that I make family-oriented content that appeals to everyone, not just kids. Regardless of what video game I play or how I commentate, it really was meant for everyone and not just kids. So I just want you to know that if I can, I want to stay on YouTube as long as I can. But if FTC does come down hard, I will probably leave or probably migrate to another channel. In fact, I might migrate to another website. I mean, not channel, but website. I may, migrate to another website. I'll have to wait and see. I'm still trying to get answers. I'm still trying to find out whether that be okay or not either from these video game publishers as well. But anyway, no, bottom line is I create content for everyone, and I just want people to know I greatly appreciate all the support I had throughout the years I've been on YouTube, and I want people to know that if I do leave, it's because of the changes on YouTube and not because I'm not making money or because I'm not over 1,000 subscribers. It's because I love what I do, but I won't continue doing it if I can be fined and penalized by COPPA for violating a law that I don't believe I necessarily violated. So anyway, guys, I gotta wrap it up longer than I wanted to. So hopefully I said everything I wanted to say. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the videos I had in the background because I decided to throw in a bunch of different videos on this. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys later this month or in the new year. If I don't, guys, I hope you all have a happy new year as we're waiting to see what happens here with YouTube and there are many changes. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, guys, see ya.